an article in the Washington Post about the NRA, sort of. That was sort of the issue, but really the issue was hierarchies, but the subject was the NRA. So what we did at that point, this was right after Sandy Hook, and we were just like, really, we're asking the NRA what they think we should do about school shootings? Okay, so we're just didn't really like, we thought that was a real hierarchy issue, so we decided to try our hand at doing something. What our goal was to diffuse the power of the top if it were a hierarchy issue, and change the conversation to a hierarchy versus guns. And we wanted to deflect the single issue of guns. Now, what we were trying to do is by using multiple hierarchies, not one issue, because we know what happens when you do one issue. We showed that the NRA's authority was from their position at the top and not from their knowledge. Okay, so let me show you how we did this. And again, this was the name of the article. We didn't come up with it. We didn't come up with it. The editorial staff of the Washington Post did. We just opened it, Oh, really? Okay. So, this is what they said. So this is kind of like the whiteness conference. It's even white males. Okay. So, what we did was use 3 techniques that we come up with, but with different groups. So one of them, three things we know about hierarchies is, I'll start with the first one. So since it looks so natural for, seriously, for all these people in NRA to get up and talk about guns, we said, okay, well, let's just role reverse this, and this was the first sentence. Imagine if African American men and boys were committing massive shootings, we wouldn't be asking their opinions. And so we had this scenario about, okay, would you go to the NAACP, and ask them their opinion? No, what you would do is you would be telling them to fix their communities. Okay? Now, the second thing we did is at that time, which decreased sharply after that, so it's just a mental health issue. So what we said was, okay, so what we know about hierarchies is that the people at the top their opinions are what they want to assume to include everybody. So, okay, fine. So, but what we said was women and girls, immigrants, Latinos with mental health issues are not killing groups of strangers. So why is it a mental health issue? Why are you focusing on that? Because only one group is doing it. Okay? Now, this was longer, a little bit longer explained. It's an op-ed, it's not that long. Okay. Now, then the third thing we did is we were saying that the NRA's perspective comes from white males, but we're supposed to believe it represents everyone. So this is a little bit of hierarchy theory. So we went, well, similarly, white male American history is assumed to be inclusive of everyone. So we have to have a separate classroom for everybody else. This is going on in all people's response of the white history month, whiteness history month, sorry. You're not supposed to talk about the top because they're supposed to include everybody, after all. Okay. So, that's how we did it. There's some more stuff that you can read in the article. So you can see what we did. Instead of talking about guns, we talked about hierarchies, but you can't talk about hierarchies without bringing a lot of different groups in there. Because it's too easy to diffuse. And so when we were interviewed on the NPR in Australia, and the interviews we had, a lot of times people would want to pull us in and talk about guns. I don't know very much about it. I have my own personal opinions, but we would just have to say, well, that's not our expertise. Let's go back to hierarchies, and it was really fun to do that.